Hey guys, Bill McDonald here. We just got back from Smith Lake. Had a decent tournament down there, pretty good tournament. Only caught one on day three. I did make the cut to fish day three, which is always a bonus and a blessing to say the least. I was just sitting in 21st place going into day three, and only caught one. On that third day. Don't know really what happened. I could watch them on the live scope, do everything. Those fish should come look at your bait and go the other direction. They just would not take it. So that happened. So no big deal there. But what I want to talk to you about is, we always talk about rods, we talk about reels, we talk about the baits, and all those things are really important. But the biggest thing, and we all neglect to talk about it, is our line. That's the only link, that's the only thing that keeps you hooked up to that fish every time. And going into this event, I knew it was probably going to be a light line tournament. Here's the exact setup that I used the whole time down there, which is a spinning rod. It's a Lew's Ledge Series spinning rod and a 2000 Series spinning reel there. But the line was the key, without a doubt. I use a flash green smackdown line. It's a round braid. It's very good. It doesn't bury up in there. And I can see that green on the water. So with those fish, when they would tick it, I could see that line jump, which was a key. And then as a leader material is our Gold Label Seaguar fluorocarbon leader material. You can use Tatsu, you could use Invisex, you could use Abrazex. But the thing about our leader material, it's like half the diameter of a Tatsu line. Twice as strong. I mean, this stuff is unbelievable for a leader line. So I highly recommend anytime you're going to use a leader line, and we got this in all different, sizes, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20. I don't think we have it in 17, but we do in 20. But lots of different sizes in it. But it's unbelievable the strength of this line there. I tied knots in it, tried to jerk it and break it. They near cut my fingers to death doing that. Wasn't the smartest thing in the world. But when you tie a leader material, use the knot that works best for you. There's a lot of great knots out there. There's the FG knot, there's a double unity knot, there's an Albright knot, there's a bunch of different ones. Use what works for you. I still use a double unity, that's just me, but it works for me. And I use a long leader material. And Smith Lake is notorious for being very, very clear. So, a lot of times I would tie a leader on that might be, 15, 20 foot long. And with the knot, like I said, come through the eyes good. It would cast really, really good. And the thing of that was it allowed me, because lots of rocks, lots of things down there, nicks. And as I was fishing it, it would allow me time that I could retie 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times on this little Rage swimmer. And from there, I didn't have to change my leader out very often. So, and the other thing that was in that tournament, I don't know what I had, 4 or 5 fish over 4 pounds. Those giant spots, magnum spots is what I call them. And with that Rage swimmer, it would be gone. I mean, I was scared to death when the fish would come up. You'd see it come up and you couldn't see the bait. So I mean, they were flat choking it. And if you've ever caught one of those magnum spots in general have an unbelievable amount of teeth. But those magnums, I mean, it's like a big old file on there. I mean, it's just rough as rough could be. And 90% of the time I get it in, and I couldn't even find a nick at all in that line after, being in that spot's mouth, which was a bonus there to say the least. So those are just some of the things there, that I think makes a major difference. And allowed me to catch a few more fish here was the clarity of the water, the thinness of that leader material just made it a phenomenal leader to go from there. And a little bit on the bait, there's a bait right there that I threw. It's a Rage swimmer. I threw a sexy shad the whole time. That's the only bait that I threw the whole time and got bit on. And that was a 3.25, just a simple little bait. Threw a round ball head jig on it, and I played back and forwards between a 1/4 ounce and a 3/8 ounce. It just depended on the depth that I was fishing. If I was fishing something really, really deep, I'd throw to 3/8 so I could get there a little bit quicker. But I'd cast that bait out and let it go down, count to 4, 5, 6. Sometimes I'd wind it 2 or 3 times and then let it drop a little bit more depending on the depth that those fish were in. And with the live scope, I could point it at them, I could see the fish, and I could see the depth that my bait was at. So I knew by counting down, on that 1/4 ounce head with that, with a 10-pound leader material and a 20-pound, main line on that flash green Seaguar, I could count down 5 seconds, and I was about that 15 to 17 foot mark. So that allowed me to know what depth I was getting at most of the time, and just winding it extremely slow. And some of them would just tick it, some would load up, and some of them would feel like somebody took a hammer and hit the butt of that rod and just knocked slack in the line. So those were the keys. I use a little Gorilla Glue. Like I said, I'd always on a ball head type deal, I'd put a dab of glue on there and push it up on there, and a lot of times I could catch 3 or 4, 5, 6 fish and not have to worry about that. So that's the thing. And like I said, if you're wanting a line, you can skimp on some things that you fish with. Don't skimp on line. That's the only link between you and that fish. And Seaguar's got every line that you possibly would need, whether it's the Tatsu, it's the Abrazex, it's the Invizex. They're all great lines, whatever price point, whatever type of situation you're fishing, they've got a line for. The Red Label does a great job as well. But if it comes to leader material, guys, quit using that as leader material. Use the very best leader that's out there, and that's that Gold Label. Without a doubt, it'll help you catch a few more fish.